pieces. What? Did you think I was gone forever? Hell, I'd still hit it.
So I am proud to own Duke Nukem. We got the box right here. I'm gonna put it right next to my copy of E.T. the video game for the Atari 2600 because I am fascinated by failures, like beautiful failures. And I think
that's not beautiful, man.
No, it is a lovely failure,
the
man.
Ugliest failures I've ever seen.
This failure has marinated for 14 years on the grill. It finally got served up, and I think it's deliciously bad. I mean, yeah, this is. I don't know what the sales are like on this. I know it dropped like over half, like about 60% after 3 weeks. I don't know if that's in America or was in the UK, but
I don't think anybody was really expecting Duke Nukem to be the runaway hit of the season or anything, but.
But
no, I was looking forward to that and this new show that's about to come on called Buffy the Vampire Slayer, and the new album from NSYNC, this new band that just dropped. I'm sorry, it's not 1998 anymore.
Yeah, my man Sean, who's sitting over here, he said, the cool thing about this game is that kids will get to play the same game that their parents played when Duke Nukem came out. And
that's the thing. Yeah. It's rated M, right?
Yes.
And all the jokes are like ridiculous, toilet humor that only kids would get, and yet technically kids shouldn't be playing it.
That is the thing.
Basically it's made for retards over 18.
Pretty much.
Spill, this game is for you.
Yep. Yeah, well, I bought it. So
it's for Korey.
I'll take 2 copies. But man, what's going on, Nick? How you doing?
I'm doing all right.
Got Nick sitting right here in front of everyone. We're all in the same room except for Mr. I'm Afraid to Fly.
Yeah, Nick wasn't even alive when the Duke Nukem 3D came out.
Hey, I did play a little bit. Wasn't able to comprehend what was going on, but
Yeah, you are about 13 now, right?
It's 14.
Okay, all right, just barely. All
you know
right,
what they say, Korey, if there's grass on the field, play ball. Welcome to Austin, bitch.
Hey, you thought we were lying about
Legal
that.
in 3 states, yeah.
Yeah, but that gang rape, you thought we were playing about that, didn't you? No, man. All right, Nick, but just kidding, man. He's looking all nervous for real, man. Sweating now and everything.
And Jason is actually going to kick
why I'm
me in
sweating.
the nuts later on.
Yes. On stage at the Texas Battle League rap battle. That's going to be the rap battle. I kick Jeff in the nuts. He says a rhyme, and then I kick him in the balls until he passes out.
I win! Man, I have to say, this game right here, it is a victim of definitely being overhyped and coming out just at a time when it does not fit. I mean, this game should have been released at least about 10 years ago.
If Duke Nukem Forever had come out like when it was supposed to come out in its development cycle, I have no doubt that we would be playing like Duke Nukem 12 right now, and that there would have been like little PSN games and sequels out the yang. I mean, if that game had come out like in any kind of time frame close to when Duke Nukem 3D came out, it would have been revolutionary.
Yeah,
it would have been something nobody had ever seen before.
Then we would have lost all our save games because of Y2K.
Well,
yeah, I'm looking at this, man, and I'm thinking to myself, when I put the game in, now how many people have played this, by the way? I played it.
I did.
Jeff played it.
Unfortunately.
Yeah, everybody, I'm here with Professor Jeff, who's sitting up here looking at me. Got his shoes off, socks hanging all out.
yeah.
Got his he's shaved the beard for a little bit, got his porn mustache going on.
Yeah.
I figured if I couldn't be professor, then I might as well be porn star.
Are you about to go to
Jeff, so.
Police Academy or
Yes.
something?
I need the big mirrored sunglasses.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is
You
going
could do it, actually. I could see it.
No, this is going on during Spill.com. I told him he should put some glasses on and greet everybody tonight saying, "Howdy do, neighbor. How are you?"
Oh, you know what you should do? You should fuck with the underage crowd. Pretend
Yeah.
to be a copper.
Oh, no, or pretend to be a child molester.
Hey, I think it would work either way.
Yeah.
Pull up in a van with free candy on the side.
Yeah.
have a toothpick in your mouth as well. If you're watching.
Nice.
Hey kids, you like video games?
And right now, Jeff is trying to pick up Nick Hodges over here, Nicky Pooh, a.k.a. How you doing, Nick? I know. I get to see the scowl now. Look at that.
I just got out the plane, pretty much. So.
Come on, man. You in Texas now. You know you're going to get it. That ain't no excuse. I just got off the plane. Give me a break. Can I just have one night to myself? No, goddamn.
I just gotta say he's a lot prettier in person than he is on
Do you know
the
what this
internet.
fucker did? I meet him and he's got like a hand with rope on one. He's got a rope in one hand and he's got a gun in the other. He's like, "Hi, Nick."
We lynch Brits around here. We don't take kindly to you folks.
We got a hanging tree out by Corey's apartment.
Yes, we do. And as you can hear, we got Master Jason over here.
I actually did walk into Corey's apartment to scare Nick with a length of rope and a fake handgun.
And I heard outside the door, oh, Jesus Christ. What happened?
No, I'm just used to guns around this. It's like, "How you doing, mate?"
Yeah, you should know, man. Yeah, we can take you up to 7-Eleven and get a gun right now if you want one. And we have Kevin Baird, who we have only in voice right now. We miss you dearly, Kevin.
Hello.
I'm there in spirit.
Yes, you are. How you doing, man? You can hear all of us, right? Everything okay?
Yeah, I can hear everything good. It's all good.
Okay, perfect. Now, you played a little bit of Duke Nukem, right?
I did, yes. A little bit.
Okay, so I'm going to ask you, you and Kevin. Now, the reason why I am upset with this game, because this game is fucking with me, all right? I put the game in, and I see these graphics from goddamn 1996, 97, and I'm thinking, oh, man, now that's clever right there. That is cool. They actually do a throwback to the original Duke Nukem. They let us play a little bit of that game, and it's so authentic. It feels like that time period. Okay, so when's the game going to really kick in? No, for real, Duke. When's the real gameplay going to come in?
Corey, he's slapping the side of his TV. What's going on?
Hey, wait a minute. Do I have the HDMI cable plugged in? You know? and I wait for a little while, and I realize, oh shit, this is not a joke. All the like pixelated imagery, all the hair that looks like plastic on characters,
Yep.
you know, all the pictures that they even have on the walls that are just blurry and not very funny, by the way.
Coming soon, The Matrix.
That's not even a joke, and that would be too clever for this game. It's I was really just taken aback how I was like, really? I mean, you're going to hype this game up for 14 years. This game has been in development. The first company to have this was 3D Realms. And Jason, you and I know, I guess we won't want to name them, but we knew somebody at the time. And we're talking about 7 years ago.
Yeah, one of my really good friends.
Yeah. We were at his brother's place, and
he was in my wedding.
and he was still working on the
serious.
game. In fact, I think he had to leave early to work on Duke Nukem.
That was something else, but
and he's telling us back then, he's so excited. It's coming. I am telling you, they're going to finish it.
Let me put it this way. The development cycle lasted longer than my marriage.
That is true, by the way.
It's totally true.
Wow.
By the way, I want that game of your marriage, man. Looks like it's going to be fun.
No, you don't. It only ends in sadness and drunkenness and liver failure and spousal abuse.
Oh, I play that game every weekend. But I was, looking at it, I was like, man, okay, considering back then and when they were talking about that before, it went to 3D Realms, and then they had about 3 years ago.
No, it wasn't even that long.
No,
it was like,
about 4 years ago, there was they did some layoffs at 3D Realms. They like downsized, and then they had a lawsuit from Take-Two Interactive.
Yeah,
and Take-Two just like fuck this, man. Just give us the game. All right, we'll finish it. And so they took it. And now the game is finally being released in 2011 by Take-Two Interactive and
it's 2K.
I'm sorry, Take-Two is the one that took it from the
3D Realms.
2K and Gearbox.
2K and Gearbox are the ones who are actually putting it out.
And they're going to have the fucking nerve to 14 years later release some shit like this. And I played this for about 30 minutes. Now, we got a big convention going on here in town. We got Spill.con. And I was, I'm a busy man. And I looked at it. I played for about 30 minutes, and I just cut that shit off. I just said, man, you know what? Y'all wasted 14 years of your life. You ain't gonna waste on my goddamn time with this game.
Really, though, it could have come out and been like Red Dead Redemption 2. And it also could have cured Corey's gonorrhea, and still it would have been like, well, it shouldn't have taken 14 years to develop that.
It is obvious what's going on here. Like, Gearbox has this, and they put it out so that they can make a sequel to Duke Nukem Forever. And Gearbox is a company that has been able to turn properties around really fast. They've got an 18-month development cycle. So they just put this shit out to get it out of the way and make another game.
You know what this is? Jeff?
What's that?
This is the Fantastic Four of video games. Somebody went and made. You remember when they made that shitty Fantastic Four movie so that they could actually make a slightly less shitty Fantastic Four movie, but one with good production values. That seems like what they do here. So you're thinking
just to maintain the rights.
That's to maintain the rights. So
yeah, I mean, they bought it, and I think that I honestly don't think that I think that unless this game sold 0 copies, Gearbox and 2K are going to get the money back they put into development, because all they did was clean up the existing 3D Realms code and slap the game on the shelves. So the number of people who are going to buy it or rent it or get it just for nostalgia or curiosity is going to take that development cost back.
Yeah, they're like, Duke Nukem Forever? I'll give you $5.
Yeah.
Just wait for the price to drop, then that's all that's going to be done.
Yeah. What, Captain?
The game engine also feels like it's about 14 years old too when you're playing it. Like you almost think like they found it in a box somewhere. They were like, "Hey, is this the Duke Nukem game? Well, let's sell it."
Like they just dug it up somewhere.
That was the one that got rejected, and they were like, "We can't release that; it's crap." And then they were just like, "Well, just give them that one or something," because it feels really dated. Like it feels like an old Xbox game.
Well, I'm gonna and look. You guys know I'm a fair man when it comes to these games, and I don't like to just
say it, preacher. The way you were doing that.
I believe that this game is getting persecuted, bamboozled, hornswoggled. Even I believe that this game here, man, is it is a result of being overhyped and just coming in at a time that is just a little outdated for it. Because
the game overhypes itself, though. Like, you constantly see pictures of Duke Duke all over the every single level, and statues of him, and
that's a part of why this game is so outdated. Not only is it outdated in the gameplay, but when you think about it, Duke Nukem was a product of the time when we still, not even parody, but we still kind of worshipped people like Schwarzenegger and Stallone and movies like Commando, and the game was very relevant for that. Then we went through the parody stage, and now we're at the we don't give a fuck stage of those kind of things, and this game is late on that end of it too. The whole, as far as where it fits in our pop culture, and but I don't want to dogpile on the game because Jeff, you're right. If this game had come out when it was supposed to, even slightly after, even if it wasn't like coming out at its prime time, it still would have been a success for nostalgia's sake. But now it's just like it's a game that's it's a time waster. I mean, you can actually.
It's kind of a time capsule. It's like it's interesting because you can play this game and you can see how we used to play video games, and it actually brought in my mind to the forefront the fact that we used to put up with the way that this game plays. It's hard, it's merciless, it's got really long load times, it looks kind of crappy.
And just like when it came out, you're not getting laid.
Yeah, exactly.
In college.
The biggest insult that this game has done, and I'm not lying, this is a game that you could find in a cereal box. Right now, this is a game that you should be playing for free.
It's like a Burger King or something.
Yeah, it's like a Burger King.
This should be,
Sneak King game.
Yeah, no, this should be in a Happy Meal. Now, granted, I'm not saying you should get a game, about getting blowjobs and shooting with strippers and stuff like that.
Or throwing shit at people from the toilet and stuff.
Yeah.
What kind of cereal are you eating?
Well, I think, in Britain, don't you get games like this in a Happy Meal? The Guy Ritchie Happy Meal, only at McDonald's. But
see, Duke reminds me of like this guy where, oh man, you see him and he's got these tattoos and these badass shades and he's got these women on him and he drives the hot car and everything. But then you see him a few years later and he's still doing the same shit. And then you realize, okay, he's the line cook at KFC.
Yeah.
All right. And he lives in this shack, but he drives this badass car. Well, the car that was badass 10 years ago.
It's a bitchin' Camaro, man.
Exactly. And all the girls he's with have like all sorts of like Aquanet, and their hair's like 7 feet tall. And he's like, man, you can say what you want, but Whitesnake's Here I Go Again is still the greatest song of all time.
Yes.
You know what I would have preferred is that in the game, like, everyone loves him, but I thought it would have been cool if he was like Johnny Bravo. Like, he thinks he's the shit, and everyone's just like, oh, we don't give a shit about you.
That would have been a lot better.
Yeah. You would see, like, if they had a game reunion
as a character, maybe a little bit.
Yeah, if this was a game reunion, Mario and Laura Croft be hanging out, and everybody's like, they're continuing to make games and be successes. Duke would be the one to walk in the room and is like, hey, ladies, and they're like, oh, it's him again.
Don't talk to him.
You want to ride in my Camaro? Yeah, he's grown a mullet at this point.
He's like, I'm going to go practice Taekwondo with Ken and Zangief. You want to come watch?
My kung fu is still the best.
Yeah, I don't
begging
think
for money maybe at that. That's like, you can have a ride home.
Yeah.
Please.
Duke forgot his wallet. Can you get this round? Duke appreciates
Duke abides.
Duke out.
Yeah, giving everybody fingers. Hey. You know? But man, I really don't think it's a terrible game. I think it's a terribly offensive game in certain ways.
Why is that?
You can call me, you call me a stick in the mud or old fogey, but there's a part in the game where you have to like shoot like women who have been forced to be impregnated by aliens. And you have to like kill them before. Now, am I right, Jeff? You have to kill them before it's too late and the aliens hatch. And
Yeah.
so it's kind of psycho in a way.
I was saying, I don't know. I mean, that's the same level where there's like tits growing out of the walls, and you can slap them, and you get an achievement for slapping the tits that
Sounds
are growing
like
out of the walls.
an issue of Heavy Metal.
It kind of is. I mean, it's got that same kind of aesthetic to it, where it's just. I mean, I don't know. It's really hard to describe.
Going back to things that I would rather do in real life than in a video game. Where's the tit slapping game in the real world? But I think that it's a juvenile game, and it's not that I have a problem with juvenile humor. It's that it's not funny. I mean, this is stuff that really 13-year-olds would teeter at just because of a mention instead of like being something that's really clever. I mean, God damn it, you open up the game pissing. I mean, that's the first thing you do in the game, and I'm like, really? I do that every fucking morning, and I'll be honest with you, Jeff. My piss is a lot more exciting than this. Has your piss ever come out? Ask me this, man, Sean. You're there listening. Has your piss ever come out in 2 streams and just totally missed the toilet? Because mine has.
Dude, you need to get that looked at. 'Cause that shit ain't right.
I think it's kind of fun after playing this game now. I want to keep it for a little bit. But when you open up a game like that, and then there's not really any more to the gameplay mechanics or value of the gameplay, then that's where the game really falls short. This is like I said, it's right now at this stage of the game coming out at this time. There is nothing innovative about it, and it's below par for what we see in even like an average shooter. I mean, it's just very, very basic.
Honestly, I think that the biggest offense that Duke Nukem has, because I mean, I'll be honest, I kind of got into the whole Duke Nukem thing. I mean, I loved Duke Nukem when it came out, Duke Nukem 3D. So I mean, there was sort of brought back some of that nostalgia.
Dress like Duke Nukem?
No. But I mean, at the time, the fucking Duke Nukem 3D opens up with him. Those alien bastards are gonna pay for shooting up my ride, and that was not the sort of character that you got out of a video game protagonist at the time. So Duke had that kind of over the top character, and I could kind of get into that, except for the goddamn load times. Every time you die, every time you go to another place, every time you do anything in this game, you've got to sit at a loading screen for like 30 seconds. And that sounds really nitpicky, but God,
no, they're
there's a lot
long.
of load
Jesus,
screens in this game.
Kevin, I wish you could see this. He's turning to Charlton Heston over here. God damn loading times. Get your fucking goddamn loading times off me.
There were plenty of times, because this is also a game that later on in the game it gets harder, and like the game will kick your ass if you're not messing around. So you load, you go into this room, you haven't memorized the fucking game, so you go in there and you get your head blown off, and then you're sitting back, you play the game for 30 seconds, and then you wait another 30 seconds to get back to that same place. And there were plenty of places in the game that I played over and over and over again, and if it had just had instantaneous or no load times, I could have forgiven this game a lot more than I can now.
Also, not to mention that there's parts in the game where you don't have that much action, and they know that it's boring, and they think that because they can make a joke about it, that it's excusable. Like the part you have to like load barrels, and Duke is like, you have
mean like signing autographs, for little kids and stuff.
Well, there's little things like that. And actually, I think that's kind of
funny.
I think that's kind of creative in the game. You have an ego meter instead of like an energy meter. So
health,
health meter. Yeah. So we were always talking about what creative ways can they do to like increase health instead of like health packs and stuff like that and hearts or wherever. And in this game, you just do stuff. I mean, if you stay active, your ego gets bigger. Like if you play a pinball game or if you lift weights, you start to. If you just stay active, your meter builds up. And I thought that's kind of cool. But there's other things in the game like loading barrels, and Duke actually even says in the game, he's like, this sucks. And I'm just like,
yeah, it does fucking suck.
Yeah, you ain't got to tell me. I'm doing it right now,
You know what? You know why they have long loading times? Because they haven't finished the game yet, and they're hoping to release a patch that finishes the game, and they're stalling with load times.
The Game of the Year edition of Duke Nukem Forever.
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah, you're going to get to the end of the game, and it's like, whoops, Duke's got to go see his parole officer.
The end of the game was weird. I don't really want to spoil it, but the one thing that I did see is that
you spoil it? I mean, like, there's no real story to it. I mean, like, from what I saw.
Yeah, I guess. I guess if you're interested, turn off, skip forward 2 minutes. But the very end of the game, they have like a nuclear explosion hits the place where Duke is, and it does a parody of Call of Duty, where it shows the map and then it zooms out with that kind of Call of Duty, like all the computer shit around the edges, and it says Duke Nukem KIA, and then Duke comes on and he's like, that's bullshit, and then the credits roll, and then he comes out and announces that he's running for president.
I'm gonna run for president.
What?
Well, can't be any worse than politicians we got now. We'll just be seeing his dick on Twitter every day.
You want a fun throwback game that's all about a muscular, meathead guy with giant guns blowing shit up? Play the Serious Sam games on Xbox Live.
Yeah. I was more of a Serious Sam fan than I was Duke Nukem.
Those games are all awesome and crazy and senseless, and they're a hell of a lot more fun than this sounds like.
Yeah, no, the game wants to be, the game wants to be a rebel, but it has nothing to say.
Against.
It's like that kid who, that high school kid, that guy that sits in a coffee shop, always like sitting back and making fun of people, but ain't got shit to say. They're unemployed. That apartment is shitty. They're like, this game is. In the game, they're like, oh, not another Valve game, or something not another puzzle Valve game. Like, oh, okay, you talking about Valve? The people that made
I don't know, some of the greatest games ever.
They just made the great Portal 2, and you
Half-Life.
Yeah, Half-Life. And I'm sitting up here playing your shitty ass game, and you gonna talk shit about that game? I was like, yeah, this game is full of it. This game it's just full of macho. It's just full of like chest thumping, and there's really nothing else to it.
Power armor is for pussies.
You know how they could have made it more controversial? Make him black.
What I was wanting to ask you
in the multiplayer when he's carrying around all those white women and slapping them on the ass. That'll get some attention.
Well, you say he should just go around slapping black people now?
No, black Duke Nukem carrying around white women.
An actual black Duke Nukem.
Yeah, and just go, I gotta take all them white women.
Now that would be a hyped up game. That game would scare the country, man.
Exactly. That sounds awesome.
You can't do that because the politicians would bitch about it, saying, "Oh, the violence is. We have to ban this game straight away."
Yeah, and more people,
to our children.
More people would buy it.
I would.
Yeah.
Shit, I'd live it. Duke did it. That's my hero. I'm gonna do it too. Korey's got his wristband on. What would Black Duke Nukem do? Yeah, man. I like I said, I don't think it's the god awful game that people are making it out to be, but it's definitely below par.
It's just an old game. It's an old game.
Well, the biggest okay, so you can sum it up like this. The biggest insult about this game, like if people were given this as a downloadable game or like about $15, maybe then it would be like if you're just really like a big Duke Nukem fan, you might be all right. But it's the biggest insult to this game is that they ask you to pay $60 for what is a game that is 14 years old.
Yeah,
nobody should have to do that.
They could charge $600 per copy, and they're still not going to make the budget back.
No,
but there's still the curiosity meter. Like everyone's going to be like, "Oh, I know it's really shit, but I'm really curious to see like what Duke Nukem is still up."
Go
to.
watch it on YouTube. God damn it!
Yeah, but there's a different thing about playing it and stuff. Like, oh, I get to throw shits around. That's funny after 5 minutes. But still, I kind of want to borrow it from someone. You just try it out for it.
Kevin, goddamn, I forgot Kevin was even here. Kevin, what do you think about?
Is he actually still there?
It's Kevin, you still here?
Oh yeah, I'm still there.
Okay. Kevin, why don't you say something, man? We just been going off, and I
got to kind of strain a little bit to hear you guys. So it's if I start talking, I can't hear. So
okay, I'm sorry. Well,
just shout out like, "Hey, my turn, bitches."
Yeah,
but
Kevin, go ahead, man. Please. What's your opinion on this game?
No, I think it's lousy. I just think that the game engine's bad. You were just saying that people will be curious and want to try it out, and I was kind of that too. I was thinking, well, the reviews are really bad out there, and I was thinking, how bad could it actually be? And it's not just that the game itself is terrible, but it's like the game engine is just really dated and old, and like Jeff is saying, the load times take forever, but it seems kind of stuttery. And just like the models and everything, that the texture maps are really bland, and man, I just was not having fun playing it at all. I just really thought this game sucks.
Yeah, no, I cannot I mean, unless you're, a freak like me and you like to collect bad games just to say you have them, because I think this game is going to be, it is going to be
it's
like
not up there with E.T. I doubt.
No, it is not. It is not up there with E.T., but it is a notoriously bad game because of all the hype that went around it. So I think that
only because of the hype.
Yeah, I think
it's playable at least.
It's playable, and when I was playing it, I actually saw some things that are kind of cool in the game, like better ideas than actual gameplay. When you're shrunk and you got to drive around in a little remote control car and all that kind of stuff. I think that stuff is kind of clever, especially for this game. But it's just not fully developed.
But then they draw it out.
Yeah,
they do that, but then you have to do that for like 20 minutes, and you're just like, can I shoot something? Like,
yeah. Your enemies in the game, which you have the pig aliens that come back and the flying aliens and whatnot, they're either too simple or just dumb, or and ranging anywhere from too hard. You would complain about how you got aliens that can fly, teleport,
shoot you, teleport behind you. Just it's like
kicking the nuts and run off.
Yeah. I mean, the game is genuinely hard in a lot of places, and it's just because people talk kind of about these days about how games are too easy. And I think that this is actually kind of this game actually shows you that, in that with things like you've got Halo and Call of Duty and stuff like that, you can see how games have gotten more simplistic and easier to play. And Duke Nukem's unforgiving. I mean, the enemies, they throw a lot at you in quick succession, and if you're not paying attention, they'll kill you right away. And so, it's not an easy game. It's not a fun game. It's not a pretty game.
It's just a game.
It's barely even that.
Well, yeah, even though I'm being a little lenient on the game, I cannot in good conscience recommend anybody go out and buy this game. And even if you've been waiting on Duke Nukem this long, you probably just look at it and have your feelings hurt, because it's not the game you wanted when it finally came out. So yeah, I would just have to say, unless somebody just gives you this game for free, don't waste your time.
I'd say, I mean, you could get away with renting this, with borrowing it from somebody, or
that's what I say. Borrow.
Yeah, borrow, like a low borrow. Like don't.
How do you do a low borrow?
I don't even know.
Only when you have nothing else for me to borrow.
Borrow if you're about to move and change your phone number.
I guess the thing is, it's like, okay, so you go to Blockbuster every week and rent other games. Mm-hmm. Play something else. When you go that 1 week and you're like, shit, man, I've played everything. Wait, is Duke Nukem Forever back in? That shit was checked out for. All right, I'll.
Oh, okay.
I thought you were going to say, it was like, nah, fuck it, I'll just rent something else that I've already played.
Yeah.
Nah, you know what? I'm going to go out in the parking lot and rub my face in the hot ground.
Yeah. Maybe then you can just go outside, go meet somebody.
Fuck outside.
I don't know.
Fuck outside.
I heard there were bears out there.
Yeah, I could either play Duke Nukem or jerk off. Guess what I'm going to do. So, yeah, I don't know, man. Yeah, Kevin, it sounds like you'd rather jerk off.
Yeah, I mean, if it was $1 rental, man, I'd rent it for $1. But if it was $2, like at the Red Box now that lets you rent games, I'd say no.
That extra $1 is where you draw the line. For $1, yes. For $2, go fuck yourself.
I'd buy this for $1.
I give you 2 bits for the Duke Nukem Forever.
I get Duke Nukem for $1.
I'm going to give you some Arby's gift certificates and a fistful of cigarette butts. But no more than that.
Coochie. Hail to the king, baby.
What about the game, Duke? Was it any good?
Yeah, but after 12 years, it should be.